Hey there. Ready to become a communication powerhouse? We're diving into the world of AI and how it can help you become an irresistible communicator. Our source, a recent article.
Descubra o poder da comunicação irresistível com ChatGPT by Steve Jr., published March 3rd, 2025. It basically translates to discover the power of irresistible communication with ChatGPT. We're talking about more than just improving communication. This is about achieving a level of influence and engagement that truly captivates.
It's interesting how the article immediately tackles the elephant in the room. So many people struggle to express themselves confidently and end up stuck in superficial interactions.
Totally. We've all been there. It's frustrating when you feel like your message just isn't landing or you're fumbling for the right words.
Exactly. And the article's core concept is that impactful communication isn't magic. It boils down to three things: connecting deeply, influencing decisions, and being crystal clear in your message.
And Steve Jr. thinks ChatGPT can help us nail all three. That's a pretty bold claim. Well, he lays out this fascinating four-step framework, and ChatGPT is woven into each step. The first step is all about structuring your message to captivate and convince. The article argues that even the most brilliant idea will fall flat if it's not presented in a clear, compelling way.
It's so true. I zone out completely if a presentation is rambling and disorganized. How does ChatGPT help us avoid that?
Think of it as a superpowered editor and brainstorming partner. The article gives the example of plugging in a rambling argument and asking ChatGPT to reescreva este argumento para que fique más persuasivo y directo. That means rewrite this argument to be more persuasive and direct. It can analyze your text, tighten up phrasing, eliminate redundancies, and make sure your key points are front and center. Imagine sending emails that get straight to the point, or delivering presentations that flow effortlessly.
So it's not just about grammar and spelling. It's about shaping the entire structure of your message.
Precisely. The article even suggests using it for presentations. You can ask ChatGPT, sugira una estructura clara y impactante para esta presentación. Suggest a clear and impactful structure for this presentation. You tell it the topic, and it can help you create a logical flow that keeps your audience hooked.
Okay, that's super practical. But what about tone? I feel like I've misread someone's tone online before, or cringed at how I phrased something.
You're hitting on the second element, adjusting your tone to fit the context. It's amazing how the same message can be interpreted totally differently based on your tone of voice. The article suggests using ChatGPT to actually tailor your tone. You can ask it to make your writing more professional, friendly, assertive, or even persuasive, depending on the situation.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
How did ChatGPT actually do that? Is it just swapping out synonyms?
It's far more sophisticated than that. ChatGPT has been trained on a massive data set of text and code. It understands the subtle nuances of language and can identify the underlying tone of your message. Then, based on your instructions, it can modify the sentence structure, word choice, and even punctuation to shift the tone. It's almost like having a linguistic expert fine-tuning your communication for maximum impact.
So it's not just about being grammatically correct. It's about using language to evoke a specific emotion or create a certain impression.
Exactly. The article gives the example, reescreva esta mensaje para que parezca más profesional, it says. That's, rewrite this message to make it sound more professional. You can take a message that feels too casual, plug it in, and ChatGPT will give you a more polished, professional version. It could be incredibly helpful for those tricky work emails or important client communications.
I can see how this could be super helpful for avoiding misunderstandings. But what about when you actually want to persuade someone? Isn't there a fine line between being persuasive and being manipulative?
You've hit on a crucial point. That's the third element Steve Jr. highlights, mastering the art of persuasion. And the article is very clear that true persuasion isn't about trickery or manipulation. It's about crafting arguments that genuinely resonate with your audience and inspire them to take action.
I think the word persuasion makes some people picture pushy salespeople or shady politicians. But this feels different. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level and presenting your ideas in a way that's both authentic and compelling.
Exactly. It's about understanding the psychology behind why people are persuaded and using those insights to create messages that truly resonate.
Okay, so where does ChatGPT fit into this? How can AI help us become more persuasive?
Think of it as your personal debate coach and speechwriter rolled into one. The article gives an example of someone who's struggling to convince their family to go on a camping trip. They could ask ChatGPT, sugira argumento convincente para persuadir a alguien sobre tema específico, which means suggest a convincing argument to persuade someone about specific topic. inserting the topic they want to discuss. It can help you formulate a logical argument and craft a message that appeals to your audience's specific interests and concerns.
That's fascinating. It's like having an AI-powered brainstorming partner to help you think through different angles and approaches.
And it can go even further than that. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation where you need to really win people over. You could use the prompt, reescriba este discurso para que fique envolvente persuasivo, meaning rewrite this speech so that it is more engaging and persuasive, pasting in the text of your speech. ChatGPT can analyze your speech, identify areas for improvement, and suggest revisions that make it more impactful and persuasive.
This sounds like a game changer for anyone who wants to get their message across more effectively.
It really is. And the article emphasizes that this isn't just for big speeches or sales pitches. These persuasion techniques can be applied to everyday situations. Advocating for yourself at work, convincing your partner to try a new restaurant, or even navigating a challenging online debate.
So it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT can help you fine-tune your delivery to make sure your message lands with maximum impact.
Yeah.
What about building genuine connections, though? That seems like something AI couldn't possibly help with.
That's where it gets really interesting. Because that's precisely the fourth and final element of irresistible communication, creating authentic connections and memorable interactions. The article argues that connecting deeply goes beyond just sharing information. It's about building relationships based on empathy, understanding, and genuine interest.
It's true. We live in such a fast-paced world where we're constantly bombarded with information and superficial interactions. I think we're all craving those genuine connections.
And while it might seem counterintuitive, the article suggests that AI, specifically ChatGPT, can actually help us cultivate those deeper connections.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But how can AI possibly help us become more empathetic and build stronger relationships?
It's all about using AI to enhance our natural communication skills. Remember how we discussed how ChatGPT understands the nuances of language and tone? Well, the article suggests that we can use this ability to refine our own communication in a way that fosters deeper connections.
So it's not about replacing human connection with AI. It's about using AI as a tool to strengthen those connections.
Exactly. For example, imagine you're struggling to come up with interesting conversation starters at a dinner party. You could discreetly ask ChatGPT, sugiera preguntas interesantes para crear diálogo envolvente sobre tema específico, meaning suggest interesting questions to create an engaging dialogue about a specific topic, adding the topic you want to discuss. It could help you break the ice and spark conversations that go beyond small talk.
That's a pretty clever use of AI. It's like having a secret weapon for navigating social situations.
Or let's say you're having a disagreement with someone and you're not sure how to respond in a way that's both honest and respectful. You could ask ChatGPT, ¿Cómo responder a este comentario de forma diplomática y constructiva? That means, how can I respond to this comment in a diplomatic and constructive way? Pasting in the comment that's troubling you.
It's almost like having an AI mediator helping you navigate challenging conversations.
It really highlights how AI can help us develop our emotional intelligence. We can use it to become more self-aware, more empathetic, and more adept at building bridges instead of burning them.
This is blowing my mind. It seems like ChatGPT can be used for so much more than just writing emails or social media posts.
It's true. The article is making a bold claim. AI can actually help us become better communicators and build deeper connections, both personally and professionally.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already. From structuring our messages to mastering persuasion and even building deeper connections. What stands out to you as the most impactful takeaway from this framework?
What's fascinating is that it's not just about mastering any one technique in isolation. It's about understanding how clarity, tone, persuasion, and connection all work together to create truly impactful communication. And what's groundbreaking is that we can now leverage AI to help us develop each of these skills.
I completely agree. But before we move on, I want to make sure our listeners feel empowered to actually put these ideas into practice. Any final words of wisdom for them?
Becoming an irresistible communicator isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about using AI to amplify your authentic voice and connect with others on a deeper level. It's about making your message heard in a way that feels both genuine and compelling.
You know, as we're talking about all of this, it strikes me that ChatGPT isn't just some fancy tool for executives or professional speakers. It feels like something anyone can use to improve their everyday interactions.
It's true. This article really drives home how widely applicable these AI-powered techniques can be. Whether you're sending a quick email to a coworker, navigating a tricky conversation with family, or even trying to make a point in an online forum, these concepts can be incredibly helpful.
It's almost like having a secret weapon to tackle all sorts of communication challenges.
And the article even touches on how ChatGPT can help you refine your social media presence. Think about it. Social media is all about communication, crafting engaging posts, responding thoughtfully to comments, and presenting yourself authentically. It's a lot to juggle.
Oh, tell me about it. I've definitely spent way too long agonizing over the wording of a tweet or Instagram caption. It can feel like walking a tightrope sometimes.
I think we've all been there. But imagine having ChatGPT as your social media strategist, ready to help you refine your posts, brainstorm content ideas, and even craft witty replies to comments. It could completely change how you approach those platforms.
That's a game changer. But let's shift gears a bit. While the article paints a pretty rosy picture of AI-powered communication, I can't help but wonder about the potential downsides. Are there risks involved in relying on tools like ChatGPT?
That's a crucial point to consider. While Steves Jr. focuses on the positive aspects, it's important to acknowledge that there are potential pitfalls. One concern that comes to mind is the possibility of becoming overly reliant on ChatGPT. People might start to lose their own unique voice and authenticity if they're constantly deferring to AI for every communication.
That makes sense. It's like anything else. Finding the right balance is key. You don't want to become so dependent on a tool that you lose your own skills and instincts.
Exactly. AI should be a tool to enhance our communication, not replace it entirely. We should always strive to maintain our own voice and perspective, even when using AI for support.
Another thing that worries me is the potential for misuse. Could someone use ChatGPT to create misleading or manipulative content? After all, technology itself is neutral. It's all about how it's used.
That's a valid concern. Like any powerful technology, there's always a risk of it being used for unethical purposes. It's important to approach AI with a sense of responsibility and ensure that its use aligns with our values. Steves Jr. doesn't address this directly in the article, but it's a crucial part of the larger conversation about AI and its impact on society.
It seems like the key takeaway is to use AI as a force for good, while being mindful of its limitations and potential for misuse.
Absolutely. It all comes down to finding the right balance between harnessing the power of AI and staying true to our own authentic selves.
Well said. Circling back to the article, was there anything else that jumped out at you as particularly insightful?
One thing that struck me was Steves Jr.'s emphasis on the importance of empathy and communication. He argues that truly connecting with others requires us to understand their perspective, listen attentively, and respond in a way that shows we care. It's something that's easy to forget in our fast-paced digital world.
It's so true. We can get caught up in crafting the perfect response or winning an argument, and we lose sight of the human connection. Empathy is such a vital ingredient in any meaningful relationship, whether it's personal or professional.
And here's where it gets interesting. The article suggests that AI can actually help us become more empathetic communicators.
Wait, really? I'm not sure I see the connection. How can AI possibly teach us something as nuanced as empathy?
Remember how we discussed how ChatGPT can analyze language and identify the underlying tone? The article suggests we can leverage this ability to refine our own communication to be more empathetic. We can use it to test different approaches, experiment with more compassionate phrasing, and learn to respond in a way that truly resonates with the other person's emotional state.
So it's not about AI feeling empathy, but rather helping us, as humans, express empathy more effectively.
Precisely. It's about using AI to bridge the gap between our perspective and the perspectives of others. In a world that can often feel increasingly divided, that's a powerful tool.
It's like using AI to fine-tune our emotional intelligence and become more attuned to the needs of those around us. I love that idea.
Me too. It's a reminder that even in the age of AI, human connection is still at the heart of effective communication.
Now that we've explored both the benefits and potential risks of AI in communication, I think it's important to address the so what factor for our listeners. Why should they care about becoming more irresistible communicators? What difference can it make in their lives?
That's a great question. At its core, I think irresistible communication is about having a positive impact on the world around us. It's about using our words to inspire, persuade, connect, and create meaningful change.
It's about finding your voice and sharing your ideas with clarity and passion, building relationships that enrich our lives and the lives of others. Whether you're leading a team, building a business, or simply having a conversation with a loved one, the ability to communicate effectively can truly make all the difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as this article highlights, AI can be a powerful ally in this journey.
It's so exciting to think about the possibilities that open up when we combine the best of human communication with the power of AI.
It's a potent combination that has the potential to transform the way we interact with each other and the world around us.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I keep coming back to the idea that irresistible communication is ultimately about empowerment.
That's an interesting thought. What do you mean by that?
I think it's about giving people the tools and confidence to express themselves authentically, connect with others in meaningful ways, and make their voices heard in a world that can often feel noisy and overwhelming. And the fact that AI can play a role in that empowerment is remarkable.
It really speaks to the incredible potential of technology to enhance human connection and amplify our voices in ways we never thought possible.
We've covered a lot of ground in this discussion. The four elements of irresistible communication, the potential benefits and risks of using AI, and how all of this can have a real impact on our listeners' lives. But our deep dive isn't over yet.
That's right. We'll be back soon with the final part of our exploration, where we'll delve even deeper into the implications of this article and leave you with some final thoughts to inspire you to put these ideas into action.
Welcome back to the deep dive. As we wrap up our exploration of AI and the future of communication, I want to focus on what this all means for you. How can you take these ideas about irresistible communication and actually make them work in your own life?
That's the question, isn't it? It's one thing to understand the concepts, but another to put them into practice. I think the key lies in embracing a mindset of experimentation and continuous learning.
I love that. It's not about becoming some communication guru overnight. It's about being open to new ideas, trying out different techniques, and constantly refining your approach. It reminds me of how athletes train. They're always looking for ways to improve their performance, even when they're already at the top of their game.
That's a great analogy. And this is where AI tools like ChatGPT can be incredibly helpful. Think of them as your communication sparring partners. They can help you test out different approaches, get feedback, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone.
It's like having a personal communication coach available 24/7, but without the awkward silences and the fear of judgment.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that you can experiment in a low-stakes environment, try out different prompts, play with different tones of voice, and see what resonates with you. You can even make mistakes and learn from them without any real-world consequences.
It's all about embracing that growth mindset. And this is where the article's emphasis on specific examples becomes so valuable. Those prompts give you a starting point, a framework for your experimentation. And the best part is, you can take those prompts and adapt them to fit your own unique communication style and goals.
That's a crucial point. It's not about using ChatGPT to create cookie-cutter messages that sound like everyone else. It's about using AI to amplify your own authentic voice, to express yourself in a way that feels true to who you are.
So it's about taking the best of both worlds, combining the power of AI with your own human intuition and creativity. It's almost like having a superpower that you can use to level up your communication skills.
It really is. And as you become more comfortable using these tools, you'll start to develop a deeper understanding of the underlying principles of effective communication. You'll be able to apply those principles to any situation, whether you're using AI or not.
That's what we're all about here at the Deep Dive, giving you the knowledge and tools to empower yourself. So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
A challenge. I'm intrigued. What do you have in mind?
I challenge you to choose one specific communication skill you want to improve. It could be anything. Writing more persuasive emails, having more engaging conversations, delivering presentations that captivate your audience. What's that one area where you feel like you could use a little boost?
That's a great starting point. Focusing on one specific skill makes it easier to track your progress and see tangible results. It's about setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. Then, I challenge you to spend some time experimenting with ChatGPT. Play with those prompts, explore different approaches, and see how you can use AI to take your communication skills to the next level. Don't be afraid to get creative and have some fun with it.
And remember, it's not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing the learning process and celebrating every small victory along the way. Communication is a journey, not a destination.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And remember, communication has the power to change not just our own lives, but also the world around us. So go out there, experiment, connect, and make your voice heard.
Who knows what amazing things you might achieve when you unlock the power of irresistible communication? This deep dive has given you the tools. Now it's up to you to put them into practice.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those conversations flowing.